from a young child, some of the best lessons we learned about work and about ethics and about responsibility, they came out of the 4-H program and out of the 4-H club. And we learned from the adults that fed into us, and we're proud to give back to that. The Mock Ranches Group is a team of land specialists across the state of Texas. We're based here in Hays County, and today we are one of the premier farm and ranch land real estate teams in the country.
The Mock Ranches Group at Keller Williams Realty is a diverse group of individuals who work together to bring value to our clients and our communities through knowledge in the land industry. Each team member comes from a different background with years of experience in a wide variety of land-related careers. Whether it be a hunting property in South Texas, an equine property in North Texas, or a rice farm in East Texas, a Mock Ranches team member will be able to help you with all your needs and help you achieve whatever goals you might have.
We do have a residential team here in Hays County as well. We'd be proud to work for you. I want to wish all the kids good luck in the stock show this year. Go get them.
Our next sponsor is a longtime sponsor of our Hays County Prospect Show, or our Hays County Livestock Show, and that is Capital Farm Credit. They've come to us again this year and said, how can we help? Truly amazing partner we have in Capital Farm Credit. We have additional sponsors of our live cast, Modern Roots, Bentley's Firearms and Indoor Range, Southwest Erectors, Purcell Electric Incorporated, Texas Farm Bureau, the Hays County version of Texas Farm Bureau, Bugmaster. For those of y'all that don't know, we are sanitizing the facility every morning and every evening. Bugmaster has done that at no cost to Hays County or to our children. Mariposa Cleaning Services, Independent Title, J.P. Jansen Crop Insurance, Mad Roosters, Jim and Peggy Jansen, Cunningham Orthodontics, Odell Equipment, Barbecues Buyers Group, and then Ozona Bank. Again, all of these sponsors we came to at the last minute when we decided we would like to do a live cast, and they are the ones that made it possible. If you do business or are friends or know any of the people that we've mentioned, please reach out and tell them how much you appreciate them supporting our kids and them supporting our event for the week.
All right, good morning. Welcome to everyone to our 2021 Hays County Livestock Show, Goat Show.
I want to welcome everybody. We truly are blessed to be able to be here this morning. We're blessed that we're able to have a county show this year. Let's keep in mind as parents, as adults, that the reason we're here, and that's for these kids.
So I do appreciate everybody being here this morning. With that being said, if I get everybody to rise and remove cover, we're going to start the morning with a quick prayer. Dear Heavenly Lord, we come to you humbled this morning, just in awe of your blessings that you bestow on us and our community. We ask for a great goat show today, Lord. We ask that our kids are able to exhibit to the best of their abilities. We ask that you provide safety for our families as they come to and from. We do also come to you, Lord, asking to pray for our servicemen and women. The freedoms that they provide us allow us to do what we're loving to do, like the stock show today. Again, Lord, we're just in awe of the blessings you bestow on us. We pray for our community, for our state, and our nation. Amen. I'd like to introduce this beautiful young lady that's next to me. This is Miss Cameron Cunningham, and she'll be leading us in our national anthem. So if you could stay risen with your hats off, please.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Boy, if that doesn't send chills down your spine, I don't know what does. Cameron, thank you very much. That was beautiful. With that being said, we're going to start checking in. Class 1 breeding does. Class 1 breeding does. Those are does that are 0 to 12 months. We will check them in on the bucking chute end of the arena. So let's check in Class 1 breeding does. There's a single entry in Class 2, so go ahead and have that doe staged. We will start our show as soon as we get them all checked in. If you have a Class 1 market goat, Class 1 market goat, let's get them up here and get them ready.
This will be second call, Class 1 breeding goats. We have 6 entries in that class. And these will be your 0 to 12-month does. Our judge today doing the breeding goats and the market goats will be Mr. Cade Hoffman from Garden City, Texas. Cade, along with his wife and 2 children, own and operate Hoffman Livestock, a progressive show goat operation in West Texas. Cade is a graduate of Texas Tech University, where he was a member of a national champion livestock judging team, meat animal evaluation team, and wool judging teams. Cade has judged numerous shows across the country and enjoys giving back to an industry which he cares deeply about. So let's put our hands together and thank Mr. Cade Hoffman for coming to judge the 75th Annual Hays County Livestock Goat Show. This will be first call for Class 2 breeding goats. We have 1 entry in that class. First call, Class 2 breeding goats. We would like to thank everyone for wearing their masks inside and practicing social distancing. That has been a challenge all year at stock shows to try to get these facilities to let us give these young people a chance to show, and we really appreciate that. So please, everybody, we appreciate the practicing of social distancing and wearing your mask.
So first of all, this morning, I'd just like to extend my sincere appreciation to everybody here on the Fair Board in Hays County for allowing me the opportunity to come out and work. And I must say that it is a great honor and privilege to be back in the stock show ring. I know that last year left a lot of uncertainty in our business, and so it's a great honor and pleasure to get to be back in the ring and work with the youth. Now I'll be the first to admit I may not be the biggest fan of the entire mask thing, but if that's what we've got to do to continue this stock show business, I'll gladly put one on every day and be right here in the ring with your children. So let's go ahead and just practice the guidelines that they've put in today. We're all here for the same reason, and that's the betterment of these kids. And if it takes a mask to do it, hey, I'm all about it. But we get out here in this first class of does today, and it certainly just exudes a lot of quality and makes me look forward to the rest of the day. I think the young lady's spot neck doe that I use to win is the one that just puts the most positives together for me. I think just from a design standpoint, the most. Okay, there we go. Just from from a skeletal standpoint, I think the one that just puts the most positives together. Yep. That just reaches the most ideal. She maintains herself the levelest in terms of her design. She's just the smoothest in her appearance. Now, she may not be the most robust in terms of just volume and capacity, but I think she's one that tucked up shallow but still has some rib design, and it's her skeleton that makes her the most ideal for me. Now, there's a bolder and more broody option to lie there in second. The doe that rides here is easily the widest. She's the boldest bodied. She's the highest performing just in terms of her mature size. But I guess for me, together, just a little frailer in her foot. I think from a design standpoint, matches the class winner. I think it's just her immaturity that proves to be downfall today. The doe that's the most immature in her design, most immature in her rib design, is also the greatest. The one that comes the same from there up with a tremendous amount of skeletal width and body. For me, though, that one gets a little more restricted in the way that she moves off her hind end, and it's probably predominantly due to the fact that she's a little higher and tighter in her spine as she goes. The doe that comes out in 4 or 5, the red cape from there, kind of is the highest performing one in this class. She's the longest bodied. She's the longest about her neck. It comes in she's just a little for to look at. We step off to the side of her. She's a little long on her back. The predominantly one that rides here in 6, really tall fronted, really feminine female. She just gets a little longer in her shoulders. She's a little higher and tighter in her spine. Maybe just doesn't come with as much productivity as we study her off either end of her skeleton. This class to start the big graduation to all of you. Test, 2, test 1.
At this time, we'll be bringing Class 2 goats in. We have one. Please bear with us a minute. We're trying to get the mics working. The results of Class 1, 6th place, Peyton Smith. 5th place, 4th place, Trent Henry. Megan Hernandez. 2nd place, Bobby Allen. And your class winner goes to Morgan Hernandez, Buda 4-H.
Nice single entry doe here. Really tall. Body back. I think she gets a little high and tight in her spine. Just like to level her up there. Break the hind leg. I was like the body. How about a nice?
At this time, we'll bring the class winner out of Class 1 in the This will be first call for Class 1 market goats. First call, Class 1 market goats. Doe buckle today is sponsored by Austin Outline, Sherry and Dennis Bowles. Our reserve champion breeding doe buckle is sponsored by Hernandez Boar Goats, Anthony and Sonia Hernandez. We'd like to thank them for sponsoring those belt buckles.
I would get out here and doe drive, and I think that they're extremely high quality representatives within this particular lineup. For me, I think I'll always try to sort them in terms of their skeletal build first, make them built right from the ground up, and then we can add the bells and whistles and trinkets as we go from there. For me, I think that there's a pair of them that just a little more closely resemble each other. I think they're a pair that's just a little more ideal in terms of the way that they're put together in their top line, and more importantly, when you set them down at the surface, they're a pair of does that are a notch stouter and a notch square as you step right in behind them. The two out of your lighter weight class will be your champion in reserve. Congratulations.
Okay. Beautiful. Doe buckle was presented. And this will be the first call. Goat. First call, class.
Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. All right, I apologize for the technical difficulties that I had 364 days to prepare for. I promise you it worked great the last 2 days. We just had a slight malfunction this morning. So we are back live. Cade, what we'll have to do is talk on this mic, a wired mic, right here on the fence, but we'll figure it out and we'll work on our wireless scenarios. This will be This will be second call for Class 2 market goats. Second call, Class 2 market goats. Mic test.
I think a real nice class to start the market show up, and a lot of differences to sort through here, but I think there's one for in this particular class. Little different just in terms of their type and kind. For me, though, I think the one that fit me is the lighter-headed one that I'm going to use to win. I think she's a doe kid that from a skeletal standpoint, from her shoulder back, she's designed as well as anything. I think she's the most proportional from her fore rib back to her flank. I think when you stand right over the top of her, I think Starts the most genuine out of the back shoulder and just gets progressively wider from there back. Now, I've bagged on her structure quite a bit, but I would like to change her up front. She does want to toe out on her show side front leg. She kind of wants to toe that thing out just a little bit. Like to modify her there, but I think an awfully nice doe to start out. Now, the one that's easy to gravitate to is the one that comes out in second. I think the doe here is one that's easily the stoutest in terms of her bone work. From there up, she just reads the same throughout her skin. She's the boldest rib. She's the biggest back. It's a problem here. From a design standpoint, I think it's a little easier in her top line. More concerning for me is the way that she operates off of her hind leg. She's got a little more set to her pastern back there, and then she wants to still come in at her hock. The one that comes out in 3 is easy to tie into from the side. Easily the tallest fronted, most neat in the way that her head, neck, and shoulder all ties together. I think she's the longest bodied and levelest designed of the top 3. For me, though, I think her problems just come from a power standpoint. She kind of runs up against 2 buzzsaws here in terms of just sheer mass and width and power. She's easily the flattest ribbed of the top 3. She's narrowest there at her base, so I left her there in 3. Just from a terminal standpoint, I think the doe that comes out here in 4 is one that a guy can really find some merit in, because I think in terms of lean value and just terminal traits as far as cutability goes, I think that one's got a lot of value. You touch that one, she touches with plenty of tone down the top side of her skeleton. She's really creased up and has lots of shape. Her problems there, again, kind of come from more of a design standpoint. I just like to pick that one up out of the backside of her shoulder, maybe square her up as she goes direct away from you. Comes out in 5, I think probably has a bright future ahead of him. His immaturity proves to be his downfall today. That one's got as crisp a loin edge as anything we've seen. He's long, he's extended, he's level in his design. Like I said, his immaturity just proves to be his downfall. Of the top 5, I think that one's probably the most closed up in his lower rib and skeleton. Just needs a little more time on feed to go ahead and maximize his potential. Class. Congratulations to all of you.
Remember, your first and second place goats out of this class need to stay around here close because we've only got class 2, and then you'll come back for the division drive. Congratulations to all these exhibitors. We'll have placings shortly. This will be last call for class 2 market goats. Last call for class 2 market goats. You should be in the staging area. Mic test, 1, 2. Maybe not. All right. There's a lot of other people I'd rather look at. All right, your placings out of class 1. 10th place goes to Zane Elmer. 9th place goes to Zane Elmer. 8th place is Allie Kirky. 7th place is Macy Cheshire. 6th place, Cannon Mendez. Fifth place, Clay Plumley. Fourth place, Jewel Locke. Third place goes to Cody Brown. Second place winner is Analia Lombardo. And your class winner out of Class 1 Market Goats goes to J.W. Hernandez from Buda 4-H. Please bring first and second place goats back at Class 1 to the staging area to come back for the Division 1 drive, which we will have after Class 2 is finished.
Mic test, 1, 2. Mic test. Mic test, 1, 2. Mic test.
Mic test, 1, 2. Mic test, 1, 2. Mic test, 1, 2. Mic test. Mic test, 1, 2.
Check, 1, 2, check.
Test 1 2, test 1 2. All right, again, I apologize. We'll get this figured out before the end of the day, I hope. Looked like we dropped there for just a second. Test 1 2.
A really nice class here, and I think one that just wins quite handily for me. Maybe one that didn't just grab my attention right off the bat when she hit the ring, and it's probably because she fights the chain just a little bit, doesn't really want to just get out and go like I'd like her to, but I think when this one plants up, I don't think there's anything that really beats her in this class. She's one that from this angle right here, and you study her from the side, I think she's the most ideally put together. She's the longest neck, the flattest shoulder. She's still the roundest and most robust there in her forerib. And it's no surprise that when you get your hands on that one, she's undoubtedly the most massive out of the backside of her shoulder, and the widest, flattest, and squarest back to the edge of her line. Now, ideally, I'd probably like to pick her up in her pin set, maybe lengthen her up out of her hip just a notch. But that's starting to get pretty critical of a nice one there. And like I said, never really considered beating that one. The one that comes in second probably fixes the flaws of the class winner. I think here's one that's a little stouter in terms of her foot and bone work there at her foundation. I think she's one that's longer and leveler out of her hip. But I don't think she operates with any more functionality out of her hind leg, because right when you step in behind her, I still think she wants to pull her hock in. And then from a muscle shape standpoint, while she's still square at her loin, I just don't think she's as shapely right out of the backside of her shoulder. The doe that comes out here in 3, she's the big, stout, constructed one that just reads with lots of product and power throughout. I'd call that one the stoutest, the widest, and the boldest there through her center of her body. But I guess for me, that one's probably got the most finish on her, and maybe just a notch too much at this day. And I think it accordingly starts to run out of shape as you the top side of her skeleton. She's easily the softest to the touch of the top 3. The one that comes out in 4 is one that I tried to tie into early. I think when we step up to the side, this one reads with plenty of extension from the side, really long body, level design. Just smooth in terms of how she ties everything together. I guess for me, though, that one's just a little too soft. Gets a little wedgy there at the base of his chest. Just doesn't open up with as much power compared to the rest of them ahead of him. The one that comes out in 5 here, here's the terminally driven one that you just love to handle. I think that one rivals the class winner from a handling quality standpoint. Just really grooved up, really massive, really bold as you grab him up top. For me, though, that one's problems come from a build and balance standpoint. When we set that one into motion, he just comes apart. He's a little rougher there at the base of his shoulder, but more concerning as you work further back from that. He just gets way too often the backside of his shoulder gets a little higher and tighter out of his spine. Consequently, just never really reaches out and grabs his stride the way that I'd like him to. I think it's an awfully good class with a real good winner. Congratulations to all of you.
Mic test. Okay, results of Class 2. 10th place goes to Nolan Moore. 9th place is called Caden Arivalo. 8th place, Clay Plumley. 7th place belongs to Hunter Lawrence. 6th place is Marlena Moore. 5th place is Jack Bogan. 4th place belongs to Michaela Verver. 3rd place belongs to Trent Henry. 2nd place is Sadie Thomas. And 1st place winner is Easton Davey. We will have the 1st and 2nd place goats out of this class come back into the ring for the Division I drive. Congratulations to all those exhibitors. At this time, it'll be first call for Class 3 market goats. First call, Class 3 market goats. Okay, at this time, we will be bringing the first and second place goats out of Class 1 and Class 2 back into the ring for Division 1 drive. Our Class 1 winner is J.W. Hernandez from the Buda 4-H Club. Our second place first place out of Class 2 goes to Easton Davey out of the Buda 4-H Club. Second place goat out of Class 1 belongs to Analia Lombardo from the East San Marcos 4-H Club. And second place goat out of Class 2 belongs to Miss Sadie Thomas from the Buda 4-H Club. Give these exhibitors a big round of applause. They've worked their way hard. This will be second call for Class 3 market goats. Second call, Class 3 market goats.
Hello.
Mic test, 1, 2.
Try that one. It's been working.
Oh, we get out here in this lightweight division, and I certainly think that there's 4 very, very deserving individuals out here. They're a little different in terms of their type and kind, and that's kind of to be expected. at a show of this size and at this weight range. I think these two on the front line are totally different, and I'll be the first to admit that. But I think that they're two extremely high-quality individuals. The light-headed doe out of the first class, I think, is one that you have to appreciate just for her genuine body shape. She's really bold over her rack. She's really square and flat back to her loin. I think on a comparative basis, she's a little smoother in her transition from her loin back into her hip, and she maintains herself a little more leveler out of her hip. Now, from a build standpoint, while we're talking that, I don't necessarily think I can totally brag on this one because as you study her up front, she wants to toe out ever so slightly, especially on her show side. Then when you step right in behind her, I still think she wants to pull her hock just a little bit. I really love the body, love the back shape that one offers. The one out of the heavier class there, I think as you step off to the side of them, she's one that runs a little more uphill. She's a little longer and thinner about her neck, flatter and smoother in her shoulder. Then that one, it really is surprising, and I probably didn't talk about it enough in class, but I think when you get your hands on that one, you're pleasantly surprised. I think she's the one that opens up the widest there through the base of her chest. She's the roundest in her body shape. Just touches with the most tone down the top side of her skeleton. Now, I would like to lengthen her and level her up out of her hip just a tick, maybe make her set to her foundation on just a little more foot and bone. But I think that's an awfully good one that has plenty of merit within this particular lineup. I'm going to go look them over one more time, and I'll pick you a champion in reserve, but congratulations to all of you.
Your Division I winner comes out of Class 2. Easton Davey from the Buda 4-H Club. And your reserve champion is J.W. Hernandez. This will be last call for Class 3 market goats. Last call, Class 3 market goats. Our Division I belt buckle was sponsored by Hernandez Boar Goats. Anthony and Sonia Hernandez. The Reserve Division champion buckle in Division I was donated by Hill Country Wastewater Services. This will be first call for Class 4 market goats. First call, Class 4 market goats. This will be second call for Class 4 market goats. Second call, Class 4 market goats.
I think a real nice class here and an awfully good pair that steps up here to the front. I think for me, I'm going to go with the one that I just deem a notch more genuine in terms of his width. He's one that's just more honest in the way that he touches down into the surface. He's more genuine in terms of his center body. I think this one's the most massive out of the backside of his shoulder. Now, is he perfect from a skeletal standpoint? I probably don't think so. I'd like that one to have just a notch more stability in the way that he operates off his hind leg. Maybe take just a notch of set out of that one's back legs. But I think the differences in terms of power and width are just a little more substantial than the differences in structure, and that's why I'm going to let that one win. The one that comes out in second's the cooler looking version, the one's a little more extended up front, a little longer body, a little leveler designed in terms of his hip structure. For me, though, that one comes with a little more shoulder and chest. And then, like I said, the biggest difference is in terms of just skeletal width and power. I think that this one's a little flatter and plainer there over his forerib. It just doesn't start nearly as massive down the top side of his skeleton. The one that comes out in 3 from a terminal standpoint is probably as good as any, just in terms of touch and tone and just cutability. That one's just not cut from the same cloth when we talk about balance and structure. One that's a little rougher in terms of how everything's put together. Maybe just like to see that one have a little more cushion and flex back there to his hip hock and pastern. The yellow-headed one that comes out in 4, love the length and extension, love the profile and design that one brings to the table. And when you step off to the side, you think that one's probably got a chance to run towards the top of the class. I guess for me, though, it's when you step off either end of him that he just kind of runs out of gas from a power standpoint. Just like to make that one a notch more robust from every angle for him to work up in class. The one that comes up in 4, really practical and productive in his center body and his rib design, but that also kind of works to his disadvantage because that's one that's just a notch deeper, not nearly as trendy and neat to look at as we step off to the side of him. Real good class again. Congratulations to all of you.
Results of Class 3. Allie Kirky, 10th place. I'm sorry, let's go to 11th place is Kent Wymore. 10th place is Allie Kirky. 9th place is Zoe Thomas. 8th place is Rain Mendez, 7th place, Easton Davey. 6th place, Hunter Lawrence. 5th place, Lillian Sandoval. 4th place is Kellen Embry. 3rd place is Caden Arevalo. 2nd place is J.W. Hernandez. And your class winner out of Class 3 is Megan Hernandez. Class 4 should be ready to enter the ring. Please remember your Class 3 first and second place goats will need to come back to the staging area for the division drive at the completion of Class 4.
You got fourth? Yeah. Kent got like last. Huh? And when's Ella showing?
We're gonna take them back.
Once again, we'd like to thank everybody for wearing their mask and practicing social distancing. That's one thing that's been a big help. Let us put these shows on for these kiddos in these county shows with the facilities working with us. So we do appreciate you helping us out by keeping the mask on and keeping social distancing. Once again, thank you.
We turned up the heat about 14 notches in this class. This thing gets deep, and this pair that's up here is awfully, awfully good. I think for me, you ask any of my closest friends and people that I do business with, and what's my motivator in terms of what things trip my trigger in terms of livestock. And it's always those that are built just a little bit better, those that get out and move just a little bit freer, those that are just a little more genuine in their skeleton. And I think that's where the one that I opt to win with just excels. I think when we set that one into motion, he's one that's just so neat-fronted, yet maintains himself extremely smooth there through the base of his chest and shoulder. He reaches out and grabs his stride. He's extremely true from the top of his shoulder to his knee to the ground, and reads the same when you step in behind him. I just think that one offers the most genuine goodness. I just prefer that one a notch from a skeletal standpoint when we set him into motion. Now, if we want to just talk handling quality and touch and tone, I think you'd have to run with the one in second. That one does have the advantage when we get our hands on him. One that starts with more genuine upstanding rack shape. That one's wider and square and flatter there to the edge of his loin. For me, though, that one just is a little more upright in the angle of both his shoulder and his hock. When we set him into motion, I don't think that one's unsound by any stretch of the imagination. It just comes down to some personal preference things for me. And when we set him into motion, I just prefer the way that the other one's constructed primarily there out of his front end. Now, it's a shame for the one in third because this one probably could have won any other class that we've seen today, but that one just kind of runs into a buzzsaw here. One that's so unique and trendy in terms of his look from the side. He's up off the ground. He's really tubular in terms of his body shape. Profiles with the most extension. He's the tallest fronted of anything in class. I guess for me, though, he just kind of runs out of power parts comparatively. When you get right over the top of him, he's one that's a little flatter in the upper side of his forerib and consequently doesn't open up with near as much mass out of the backside of his blade. From there, back when you study him going directly away, one that just wants to flatten to the outer part of his leg just a little bit for me. The yellow-headed one that comes out in 4, one that you really like the grizzly feet and legs that this one has. He probably sets down on the most surface area at his foundation. From there up, though, I just wish he was built with the same kind of power. I think of the top 5 or the top 4, he's probably the one that's the most closed up through his lower rib. Then we work back to his loin, and that one just tapers too much to his edge. Doesn't tie up near as smooth there back to his hip. The doe that comes out in 5, from a practicality standpoint, she's got her utility. For me, though, she's easily the plainest in terms of her shape and look of the top 5, so that's just kind of where I left her. Real good class and a competitive top pair up there. I look forward to seeing those back out here in a second. Congratulations to all of you.
Okay. Results from Class 4. 11th place, Seth Herzog. 10th place, Tristan Decker. 9th place, Lawson Henry. 8th place, Carly Barch. 7th place, Nolan Moore. 6th place, Maddie Terrell. 5th place, Halen Brown. 4th place, Marlena Moore. 3rd place, Kylie Davey. 2nd place is Stormy Cunningham. And your class winner out of Class 4 is Matthew Bridges. So at this time, we'll have the class winners out of 3 and 4, and the 2nd place goes out of 3 and 4. Back in the ring for Division II Drive. Class 3 winner is Megan Hernandez. Class 4 winner will be Matthew Bridges. Class 3 second place goat is J.W. Hernandez. And second place out of Class 4 is Stormy Cunningham. Our Division II champion belt buckle is donated by West San Marcos Dove Hunt Foundation. Our reserve champion Division II is donated by Ben and Terry Brown. We want to thank them for their belt buckle sponsorship. We really appreciate these belt buckle sponsors. They make it work real well.
It's an awfully good division here, and I think that the two out of the first class are extremely competitive. They were totally different in terms of their type and kind. I think I opted to use one that just offered a little more genuine power and width over one that offered a little more length and extension and profile there within that first class. The second class that we just talked about that just came out of the ring, just two goats that I think are really incredible in terms of their build and balance, and they still have the power parts and the bells and trinkets. I think that's an awfully good pair that's really tough to turn. Those two out of the heavier class will be your champion in reserve. Congratulations.
Okay, your Class 2 division winner goes to Matthew Bridges out of Class 4, and your reserve champion, Division 2, goes to your second place goat out of Class 4, Miss Stormy Cunningham. Congratulations to those division winners. Class 5 goats should be in the staging area. Class 5 market goats in the staging area. Our Division 2 champion was Matthew Bridges out of Jack C. Hayes FFA, and the reserve champion was Stormy Cunningham from Dripping Springs 4-H.
Probably a little tougher sword here than we've had in some of the other classes, because there may not be just one that just kind of jumps out and grabs you and says, hey, you know, I'm the one that's here to win. It takes a little more it takes a little more thought process to kind of gather through this. So the one that I'm going to use, and here again, the thought process remains the same, to find the ones that are the most fault-free. And I think the young lady's paint is the one that's the closest to that for me. Certainly not perfect by any stretch. I'd like to make that one a little more stable in terms of her top line. Maybe like to clean her up in terms of her bottom line as well. But for me, I still think that one gets around on a fairly sound set of feet and legs. And it's her power parts that make her the one to use for me. I think she's easily the most opened up in her body. I think she's the roundest in her rib shape. She's the boldest backed and the biggest ended. Just kind of comes into a power play for me. The one that I was probably the most apt to tie to from a skeletal standpoint is the one that rides in second. I think you step off to the side of him. He's one that profiles with some extension. He's level down his top and the most ideal in terms of the way that his hip and hind leg functions from the side. But when we step right in behind that one, he still comes in at his hock. And then when you study him compared to the ones on either side of him from a power standpoint, although he opens up massive out of the backside of his shoulder, that one just gets entirely too round back at his loin edge for me. The doe that comes out in 3, she's ultra stout in terms of her foot and bone structure. She's wide, she's round body, probably one of the thickest goats that we've seen all day. But for me, she's just too compact and conventional in her mature size. It just doesn't look like there's enough grow in that one compared to the goats all around her. That one just kind of stands out as the shortest bodied and the lowest to the ground. The one that comes out next, you definitely have to like up through the front end of her body. Really long-necked, really flat-shouldered, just a little different in terms of the way that one uses its feet and legs. I just like to give that one a notch more stability. I still think that one needs a notch more power as well. The stout-legged one that comes in 5, I think he moves as good as anyone when we get him about the ring, and honestly, I considered working that one way up in class as we set him into motion. But for me, he ranks a distant 5th in terms of mass and dimension out of the backside of his shoulder. He two's a little round out of the backside of his loin. Just doesn't have the power parts for me to ride with today. Nice class, though. Congratulations to all of you.
I have been asked to make an announcement that Bugmasters is here to sanitize the restrooms. They will be shut down for about 10 minutes. The restrooms will be shut down for 10 minutes, thanks to Bugmasters coming in and sanitizing for COVID, part of our COVID-19 plan to make all of this show happen.
From a young child, some of the best lessons we learned about work and about ethics and about responsibility, they came out of the 4-H program and out of the 4-H club. And we learned from the adults that fed into us, and we're proud to give back to that. The Mock Ranches Group is a team of land specialists across the state of Texas. We're based here in Hays County, and today we are one of the premier farm and ranch land real estate teams in the country.
The Mock Ranches Group at Keller Williams Realty is a diverse group of individuals who work together to bring value to our clients and our communities through a knowledge in the land industry. Each team member comes from a different background with years of experience in a wide variety of land-related careers. Whether it be a hunting property in South Texas, an equine property in North Texas, or a rice farm in East Texas, a Mock Ranches team member will be able to help you with all your needs and help you achieve whatever goals you might have.
We do have a residential team here in Hays County as well. We'd be proud to work for you. I want to wish all the kids good luck in the stock show this year. Go get them.
Our next sponsor is a longtime sponsor of our Hays County Prospect Show, or our Hays County Livestock Show, and that is Capital Farm Credit. They've come to us again this year and said, how can we help? Truly amazing partner we have in Capital Farm Credit. We have additional sponsors of our live cast, Modern Roots, Bentley's Firearms and Indoor Range, Southwest Erectors, Purcell Electric Incorporated, Texas Farm Bureau, the Hays County version of Texas Farm Bureau, Bugmaster. For those of y'all that don't know, we are sanitizing the facility every morning and every evening. Bugmaster has done that at no cost to Hays County or to our children. Mariposa Cleaning Services, Independent Title, JP Jansen Crop Insurance, Mad Roosters, Jim and Peggy Jansen, Cunningham Orthodontics, Odell Equipment, Barbecues Buyers Group, and then Ozona Bank. Again, all of these sponsors we came to at the last minute when we decided we would like to do a live cast, and they are the ones that made it possible. If you do business or are friends or know any of the people that we've mentioned, please reach out and tell them how much you appreciate them supporting our kids and them supporting our event for the week.
We will need first and second place goats out of Class 5 back to the holding pen for the Division 3 drive at the completion of Class 6. That's first and second goats out of Class 5 back to the holding pens. This will be first call for Class 7 market goats. First call, Class 7 market goats.
Here again, probably a little more sort to be done here within this class. Just because they're, again, not one that just really jumps out and grabs you, but I think part for part, the doe kid I've got out front is the one that does it the best for me. Probably one that wants to get just a little overdriven and maybe overextended when we got him on the profile. But I think that this one is the one that's the squarest in terms of her build. I think she's the most genuine in the base of her chest and her body shape. That one easily spreads the most mass and dimension down the top side of her skeleton. And I think that if we could get that one shortened up from the side just a little bit in terms of the way she's being shown, I think that one comes together and balances up just as well as anything else in class. To me, that one just makes a logical place to start. Then it starts to get a little more difficult there, but I think in terms of just handling quality, the yellow-headed one's got to be the next in line. One that starts bold enough out of the backside of his shoulder. I might say he ranks second in terms of squareness to the edge of his loin. Then from a look standpoint, that one offers plenty of length and extension, levelness of design in terms of the way his hips put together. Now his hind leg could probably operate a little more fluidly, and I think that one could set down on a notch more foot and bone, but I think that one still deserves to be up here towards the top. The one that handles the smoothest just in terms of his finish and in terms of his presentation is the one that's in 3. I really like just that one's touch in terms of his readiness. Now that one's probably a little too sharp over his rack, but he's still ready and ideal in terms of his finish and composition, and I definitely like that about him. I guess when we compare him to the two ahead of him, not nearly as neatly put together, especially when you watch him operate out of his hind leg. He wants to pull his hock in and get a little long and loose in his pastern, probably a little shorter and lower tying in the way his neck comes out of his shoulder. That's the opposite problem that the one in 4 has, because this yellow one is really rocket fronted, really up off the ground, neat about his neck, flat in his shoulder, just really blends everything extremely smoothly together. I guess for me, that one just runs out of gas from a power standpoint. You study that one from any angle, and I think of the top 5, he's easily the most closed up, one that just needs a notch more gas in the tank for me. Width and power and stoutness works in favor of the 1 in 5. His skeleton's just not quite right for me. One that wants to get high and tight in his spine. He's a little looser and lower in the way that his neck and shoulder attachment is. He wants to roll out of his hip and get a little up under himself on the move as well. Nice class to sort lots of differences. Congratulations to all of you.
Okay, we will need the first and second place goats out of Class 5 to come back into the ring with the first and second place goats out of Class 6 for the Division 3 drive. Results of Class 6, 11th place, Emily Dolan. 10th place, Peyton Smith. 9th place, Annie North. 8th place, Peyton Smith. 7th place, Barrett Collins. 6th place, Paige Smith. 5th place, Lillian Sandoval. 4th place, Carly Barch. 3rd place, Cassidy Strife. 2nd place goes to Ella Sandoval, and your class winner out of Class 6 is Ashlyn Brinkley from the Buda 4-H Club. At this time, we will be bringing the Class 5 winner, Ella Sandoval from the Buda 4-H Club, back into the ring, along with the Class 6 winner, Ashlyn Brinkley. And then the second place goat out of Class 5 belongs to Kellen Embry from the Dripping Springs FFA. And the second place goat out of Class 6 belongs to Ella Sandoval. These goats will be competing for the Division 3 champion. Our Division 3 champion buckle is sponsored by Jeff and Kim Dodd. Our Reserve Division champion, Division 3, or Reserve Division 3 champion buckle is donated by Maverick Midstream Services. Y'all see any of these sponsors around the show or around town, please tell them thank you for helping us present these buckles to these youth exhibitors.
Another nice lineup out here for this third division drive. And certainly a lot of differences in terms of type and kind, but I think I've got the best 4 out here. Like I said, all different. We've got one out of the front line, this painted up one that's just really opened up and stout and burly. Just really has lots of power from every angle you want to study her. Maybe could pick her up in terms of the looks department, just level her out of her top line, maybe lengthen her up out of her hip. Then out of the heavier class, we've got a class winner there that profiles with a notch more length and extension, one that I think operates a little more ideally out of her hip and hind leg, the way she reaches out and grabs her stride. And I still think that she's got the power and pizzazz to compete here. For me, I think it just makes sense. I'll always try to side with sounder stock and that's better built. I think the one out of your heavier class will be your champion. The one out of your lighter weight class will be your reserve. Congratulations.
Your Division 3 winner goes to Ashlyn Brinkley, Buda 4-H out of Class 6. Your Reserve Division 3 goes to Ella Sandoval from Buda 4-H. Congratulations, exhibitors, and we'll see you two back in the grand drive after Division 4 champion is named. At this time, Class 7 should be in the staging area.
We spent the majority of our life south of Kyle in Hays County. I was in the real estate and construction business primarily. Carrie was a teacher in the Hayes District for many years. We, about 10 years ago, made a decision to die in the country, move to the country, and it's been a long process. We began to sell some business property and buy some ranches and start running a few cows up here. I guess the culmination of that is within the last 6 months, we decided to sell our home, which we raised our family in, and as we discussed what to do, having been in and out of the real estate business our whole life, we were looking for someone that could represent us well, and we found Casey Mock, and we're just here to tell you that we're now where we want to be. We're on the ranch, and Lord willing, we'll build a home this spring, and we're excited to be here, and we're excited that Casey had a part in us getting here smoothly. We found him to be extremely competent and to be efficient in all his business dealings with us. He looked at problems as opportunities and not crises. We highly recommend him for any of your real estate needs. It's really amazing what Casey's done in the real estate industry the last few years. We know a good agent when we see one, and we certainly can recommend Casey and his company. And know you won't be disappointed if you choose them to represent you.
This will be first call for Class 8 market goats. First call, Class 8 goats. This will be second call, Class 8 market goats. Second call, Class 8 market goats.
This one kind of looks like that class we had earlier, just in terms of depth of quality. And I think primarily within this top four, there's a lot of different things you can do, and I'm just going to kind of lay it out there and tell you how I read them. I've talked about it all day. I talk about genuineness and just honesty in terms of the way that they're put together. And I think the young lady's redheaded one is the most ideal in that regard. I think he's not the stoutest. He's not the most bold in terms of his body shape. But I still think one for me that's awfully unique in the way that he's put together. And I think he's the most ideal in his skeleton. He's the most proportional in his top and bottom line. I think he operates, although he's not perfectly angular in the way that his hock's constructed, I still think that he has enough flex and grab and go. And it's dimension up top that just kind of seals the win for me. That one's easily the boldest to the touch right out of the backside of his shoulder. He's the widest and the flattest and the squarest back to his loin edge. Now, the one that comes out in second, I think, is a little stouter in terms of his bone work down low. I think he operates a notch more functional out of his hip and hind leg. For me, though, that one's probably the most far along in terms of his finish. I don't think that he's overdone, but he's starting to get a little softer to the touch. To me, the bigger difference is the way that one's constructed up through his shoulder. I think he's a little longer from the top side of his shoulder to the bottom. Consequently, he's a little sharper there over his rack. Just not nearly as uniform in terms of his body depth and his proportionality in his top and bottom line. Now, if you just want to stare at him from the side, I'd look at this black-headed one all day, because I think that one is really unique in the way that he's put together from the side. So up-fronted, so uniform in his top and bottom line, just ultra proportional wherever you want to study that one. My biggest gripe for him is when I step directly behind him. I think that one just funnels a little too much from hooks to pins, gets a little flatter and plainer there at the outer part of his leg, but a dang neat one to look at from the side. The paint that comes out in 4, that one's one that a guy can probably tie into pretty heavy, just in terms of width, stoutness, and body shape. I'd call that one the class leader in that regard. For me, I thought that one's getting a little deep in terms of his bottom line. You work up there to his loin, I think that one's probably the roughest of the top 4 in the way that he handles to his loin edge. I'd just like to pick that one up in terms of his stability at his pastern, maybe make him a little more upfronted as we study him there through the base of his chest and shoulder. The one that comes out in 5, like I said, just kind of ran into a really tough class. I think that here's a wether that has plenty of length, has plenty of extension. It probably doesn't put it into as neat a package as the ones do ahead of her. A little longer in terms of his pastern, just a little looser in the way that he operates. Real nice class, though. Congratulations to all of you.
Okay. Results of Class 7. 9th place, Morgan Smith. 8th place, Kent Wymore. 7th place, Michaela Verver. 6th place, Trista Briones. 5th place, Megan Hernandez. 4th place, Morgan Hernandez. 3rd place, Cameron Cunningham. 2nd place, Morgan Hernandez. And your class winner out of Class 7 is Stormy Cunningham, Dripping Springs 4-H. We will need 1st and 2nd place goats out of Class 7 back to the holding area for the Division 4 drive. Class 8 should be staged and ready to come in the ring. Class 8 market goats. I've been notified that the restrooms are open again for anyone that needs to go. And we'd like to thank Bugmasters for coming out and helping us sanitize and keep everything clean. We appreciate their help and their support. Once again, the restrooms are open. Class 8 is in the ring. Upon the conclusion of Class 8, we will have our Division 4 champion drive. So we will need our first and second place goats out of Class 7 back to the staging area. Then after we name Division 4 winners, champion and reserve, we will go into our grand champion drive. And at that time, we will need the division champions and division reserve champions out of Division 1, 2, 3, and 4 back to the ring for the grand champion drive.
A real good class out here to end the day in the GOAT show. And I think that these first two just really set themselves apart. And it's them and the rest of them. And for me, I still think that the one that comes out and wins is one that just suits me a notch better. It's primarily when we set them into motion. I think that this one just kind of takes the reins for me. I would like to lengthen him up out of his hip just a hair for my own personal preference. But uniquely, that one actually uses his hip and hind leg better than the one that's in second. And I think that he's still just the one that's a notch neater at the way that his shoulder and chest and rib lays together. I think he's taller fronted. I think he's leveler in terms of the point of his shoulder back to his hip. Just one that's awfully unique to me. Now, if you like them a notch stouter in terms of their foot and bone work and really bold in terms of their back, couldn't argue with you wanting to start the one that's in second because that one's got some class advantages, no doubt. For me, though, like I said, I'm kind of a build guy, and this one just worries me a little bit when we set him into motion. He's one that really just wants to drag his back toes, just never really reaches out and grabs his stride. When you really break that one down in terms of the way that his shoulders put together, he's just a little longer and a little bolder in the way that it's laid on there. The one that comes out in 3, an extra stout one as well in terms of his foot and bone work, just kind of runs into some tough competition here. He's one that wants to just get a little rounder back to his loin, wants to plane in his pins just a little. Really practical kind of market goat here in 4, just an easy feeding kind. For me, though, he's just a little sloppier in the way that he's put together. A little easier topped, a little too deep in terms of his natural fill and flank. Just like to tuck that one up, maybe make him touch a notch harder as well. Kind of the same story for the paint that comes out in 5. Just one that's extra stout, extra bold chested, really practical in his center body, just a little loose in terms of his underline. Probably just pushing a little more finish than some of those that are up towards the top of the class. Just like to firm him up, freshen him up in terms of his shape. Real nice class, though. Congratulations.
Okay, the results from Class 8. 9th place goes to Carson Schroeder. 8th place goes to Lily Aylshire. 7th place goes to Trista Biones. 6th place is Jewel Locke. 5th place, Haley Weisman. 4th place goes to Michaela Verver. 3rd place is Amanda Alderson. 2nd place is Cameron Cunningham. And your class winner out of Class 8 is Matthew Bridges from the Jack C. Hayes FFA. At this time, we will have Class 7 winner Stormy Cunningham from Dripping Springs 4-H, and Class 8 winner Matthew Bridges from Jack C. Hayes FFA back in the ring. And we will have 2nd place goat out of Class 7, Morgan Hernandez from Buda 4-H, and 2nd place out of Class 8, Cameron Cunningham from Dripping Springs 4-H to compete for the Division 4 Champion Drive. At the conclusion of Division 4 Champion Drive, we will go into our Grand Drive. So we will need champion and reserve champion goats out of Division 1, 2, 3, and 4 back in the ring for the Grand Champion Drive. Our Division 4 champion belt buckle is donated by Tacey Zellhart, and our reserve champion Division 4 buckle is donated by Hill Country Wastewater Services.
Real good heavyweight drive. I'd say this has been the deepest division that we've seen all day. And these 4 individuals out here can hang with the best of them. Just kind of to break them down for you, the one out of the first class I think was just the one that's the most ideal in terms of his skeleton within that particular class. Just really unique in the way that one's put together from the side. So proportional, so level design, but still has some power and punch when you get down that one's top side. Maybe not the stoutest in terms of his feet and legs, but one that I think is certainly more than adequate in that regard. The second in that class just kind of fell in nice, just kind of corrects the criticisms of the class winner. A little stouter footed, a little longer hip, a little more functional out of his hind leg, but still one that's just a notch too soft for me. The 2 out of the heavier class here, the one that wins for me, I thought just did so because he's the most my speed, you know. I think when I talk about sound, functional livestock that's put together well in their skeleton, I think that one just kind of epitomizes that idealistic notion in my mind, just the way he looks from the side, the way he covers the ring. Still like to pick him up in his tail set just ever so slightly, but I think that one's awfully good. The one that comes in second's the stouter version in terms of his foot and bone work. He's one that's really bold and productive in his rib design, really massive when you get down his top side. When we set him into motion, that one starts to worry me just a little bit. The way that he operates out of his hind leg, he just never really gets him off the ground and reaches and grabs. I think it kind of comes down, I think there's one that wins pretty easy for me. I think it comes down to the other two for reserve. Just some minor nitpick things. I'm going to go side with one that I think is a little sounder in terms of their skeletal build. I'll go show you the two I like, but congratulations to all of you.
Our Division 4 champion belongs to Matthew Bridges from Hayes FFA. And our reserve champion comes out of Class 7, Stormy Cunningham from Dripping Springs 4-H. Okay, we're going to take about 5 minutes to get all our division champions and reserve champions lined up. Make sure they're in order to come back for competition for the Grand Champion Drive. At this time, I'd like for everybody to put their hands together and thank Mr. Cade Hoffman for doing such a great job today on this show. We appreciate his efforts. It's a long drive from Garden City, Texas. At least it was pretty weather.
Our next sponsor is a longtime sponsor of our Hayes County Prospect Show, or our Hayes County Livestock Show, and that is Capital Farm Credit. They've come to us again this year and said, how can we help? Truly amazing partner we have in Capital Farm Credit. We have additional sponsors of our live cast, Modern Roots, Bentley's Firearms and Indoor Range, Southwest Erectors, Purcell Electric Incorporated, Texas Farm Bureau, the Hayes County version of Texas Farm Bureau, Bugmaster. For those of y'all that don't know, we are sanitizing the facility every morning and every evening. Bugmaster has done that at no cost to Hayes County or to our children. Mariposa Cleaning Services, Independent Title, JP Jansen Crop Insurance, Mad Roosters, Jim and Peggy Jansen, Cunningham Orthodontics, Odell Equipment, Barbecues Buyers Group, and then Ozona Bank. Again, all of these sponsors we came to at the last minute when we decided we would like to do a live cast, and they are the ones that made it possible. If you do business or are friends or know any of the people that we've mentioned, please reach out and tell them how much you appreciate them supporting our kids and them supporting our event for the week. Our title sponsor.
Okay, this will be for your grand champion market goat. Out of Division 1, we have Easton Davey from the Buda 4-H. Out of Division 2 champion, Matthew Bridges from Jack C. Hayes High School. Division 3 champion, Ashlyn Brinkley from Buda 4-H. And Division 4 champion, Matthew Bridges from Hayes High School, Jack C. Hayes FFA. Your reserve champion out of Division 1 is J.W. Hernandez from Buda 4-H. Out of Division 2 is Stormy Cunningham, Dripping Springs 4-H. Out of Division 3, Ella Sandoval from Buda 4-H. And out of Division 4 is Stormy Cunningham, Dripping Springs 4-H. Let's give these exhibitors a big round of applause. They've worked very hard to get here. Quite a feat to be in this Grand Champion Drive. Our Grand Champion Market Goat Belt Buckle today is sponsored by Ozona National Bank, Chris Smith over in Wimberley, Texas. Thank you to Ozona National Bank for that Grand Champion Buckle. Our Reserve Champion Market Goat Buckle is sponsored by Rippey Ranch Supply, Pug and Janet Rippey. We want to thank them for their sponsorship of that Reserve Champion Market Goat Buckle today.
Well, first off, let's give all these exhibitors a nice round of applause for making it back out here. An extremely high-quality day here in the market goat side of things, and I think that 8 goats out here that certainly have their right and privilege to be on the front line and be in contention to win here. Really have enjoyed the show today, and I look forward to the sheep show this afternoon. I appreciate you kids taking your time out to show me your projects. Thanks to your show staff, and make sure you find those guys and tell them thank you, because in the times that we're in, it's been awfully hard to get these shows put together. We've done a couple ourselves. It's a big task and a big undertaking, and a lot of things going behind the scenes. So if you find those guys that are on the fair board that have helped put this deal together, make sure and give them a big thanks, because they take time out of their personal lives and their work lives to come out here and make this possible for you, as well as when it gets to be sale time. Thank those people that give their time and their money. Hey, they don't have to give it to you. They made that money for themselves, and they don't have to give it to you, but they choose to because they believe in you and believe in the program that you're a part of, and that's a big thing. So thank your donors, thank your people that volunteer with your show. Let's give them a round of applause as well. Out here in this lineup, I'll just kind of break them down for you. Out of the lightest class, we've got a couple does there that I think are awfully unique. The one that wins, she just profiles with a little more extension. She's got a little more wow factor. Probably not stout enough in terms of her lower structure for me today, but one that I think could make an awfully nice breeding piece down the way. The one that comes in second, a real cute little doe there that's real square and genuine in terms of her handling quality. Probably just not quite right structurally. Toes out a little bit up front, comes in at her hock from behind. The 2 out of the second division, I thought that those were 2 stingers when they came in. They kind of soared up for totally different reasons. I think we've got one here that's just a notch more genuine in the way that he operates out of his lower structure. He's one that's extremely robust in his chest and round in his rib design. The one that comes in second is probably one that's a little crisper to the touch, just a notch more touch and tone down the top side of his skeleton. Maybe doesn't reach out and grab his stride the way I'd like him to, but that's 2 dang good ones right there out of that second division. Excuse me. The third division comes in, probably a little different speed there in terms of those 2. 2 that just kind of fell into place within their particular classes. One for me that's really square, really bold-bodied, really good touching. I maybe like to just smooth him up just a little bit when we step off to the side of him. Kind of the same for the one that comes reserve in that division, the painted-up doe kid. Big back, bold-bodied, big-ended. Just probably needs a little more look and presence about her in this particular lineup. The 2 out of the heaviest division I think are real good. I think they're probably the closest pair in terms of just the way that their skeletons put together. I gave the nod to the red-necked one that I've got out here. I just think for me, he's one that's just so neat to see cover the ring. He's so long-bodied, so level designed, so proportional. But then when you get your hands on him, I think he's the biggest, boldest, stoutest, all the EST words you want to throw at him in this particular lineup. The one that's reserved is a little frailer footed, maybe not as neat and fluid in terms of the way that he uses his hock as maybe some others that we've got out here, but I think that one's dang sure sound enough and in big time contention out here. I'm going to go out here and give him one more look. I'll pick you a champion reserve, but congratulations to all you kids, and thanks for having me out today.
Your grand champion goat for 2021 goes to Matt Bridges from Jack C. Hayes High School. Now we will move Ms. Cunningham up for and your reserve grand champion goat of 2021 goes to Miss Stormy Cunningham from Dripping Springs 4-H. Congratulations to everyone At this time, there'll be some picture taking over to backdrop. If anyone would like to have their picture taken at the backdrop, be sure and take your goat over there. And the pictures will be taken. After about a 5 or 10 minute break, maybe 15 minutes, we will be starting with senior showmanship. Senior showmanship, then we'll go to intermediate showmanship, then junior showmanship, and then we will do the new addition as Clover showmanship. Once again, we want to thank all our belt buckle sponsors for sponsoring all the buckles today. And all of our sponsors that have made this show possible. I don't have a complete list of sponsors that helped put this online, that helped to sponsor the live online telecast, I guess you should say. But we do thank those. People know we've had a list of it, I think, on the website. We do appreciate it. Once again, we will be starting shortly, and I will be making a call for first call for senior showmanship shortly.
Our title sponsor this year is Casey Mock from Mock Ranches. Casey's a homegrown Hays County product that has really done amazing things. We're truly benefiting from his generosity. This live cast, he's a big part of why the live cast is even possible. Our next sponsor, and again, Mock Ranches is our title sponsor. Our next sponsor is a longtime sponsor of our Hays County Prospect Show, or our Hays County Livestock Show, and that is Capital Farm Credit. They've come to us again this year and said, how can we help? Truly amazing partner we have in Capital Farm Credit. We have additional sponsors of our live cast. Modern Roots, Bentley's Firearms and Indoor Range, Southwest Erectors, Purcell Electric Incorporated, Texas Farm Bureau, the Hays County version of Texas Farm Bureau, Bugmaster. For those of y'all that don't know, we are sanitizing the facility every morning and every evening. Bugmaster has done that at no cost to Hays County or to our children. Mariposa Cleaning Services, Independent Title, JP Jansen Crop Insurance, Mad Roosters, Jim and Peggy Jansen, Cunningham Orthodontics, Odell Equipment, Barbecues Buyers Group, and then Ozona Bank. Again, all of these sponsors we came to at the last minute when we decided we would like to do a live cast, and they are the ones that made it possible. If you do business or are friends or know any of the people that we've mentioned, please reach out and tell them how much you appreciate them supporting our kids and them supporting our event for the week.
This will be first call for senior showmanship. First call, senior showmanship. Please come to the staging area. Followed by the seniors, we'll have intermediate showmanship, and then junior showmanship, and then the new kids on the block, the Cloverleaf kids, will be showing their goats this year. Second call, senior showmanship. Second call, senior showmanship. Please come to the staging area if you want to enter the senior goat showmanship. Senior showman entering the ring. Senior showmanship is entering the ring. If you are going to enter the intermediate showmanship, you may be thinking about it and getting up to the staging area. Our belt buckle for Champion Senior Showmanship this year is sponsored by Tommy Dodd Memorial Buyers Group. We want to thank them for sponsoring the Champion Senior Showmanship belt buckle.
For me, showmanship's easily the hardest thing in the world to judge, just because you're simply asked to judge a person. That's the hardest thing about the business here is having to come in and actually judge the kids. The animals, that's the easy part. But having to come out here and judge the kids is easily the most difficult and daunting task that we face as livestock judges. For me, showmanship is getting out here and it's all won at home. I think it's putting your time in, just showing that you've spent the hours, not only getting the animal to work well, but polishing your craft. And I think that's a great thing for life is putting in the time and polishing whatever craft it is that you so choose to do. So when we come back out here for showmanship, I think it's important to just do the most with the least. Those kids that just absolutely come out here, showcase the animal the best that they can, and make sure that thing looks on point at all times. Slow motions, just fluid motions, and being able to just highlight that animal is what I'm after. They told me I just got to pick one, which is even better because I don't have to place everyone. But I'm going to go out here, I'm going to look everybody over, and I'll shake the hand of your champion showman. For you younger kids, just continue to watch, and even you older kids too. Learn something new every day about this. Work at it every day. Find somebody that's better than you and learn from them. That's how the whole world works. Finding somebody that has polished their craft and learn from them. I'll go out and grab you a winner, but congratulations to all of you.
Your champion senior showman this year goes to Matthew Bridges from Jack C. Hayes FFA. Congratulations, Matt. Intermediate showman, you should be at the staging area. Intermediate showman. Then we will go into the junior showmanship. So junior showman, be thinking about it, be getting ready. Okay, our junior showman, or intermediate showman, I'm sorry, are entering the ring. First call, junior showmanship. First call, junior showmanship. Please come to the staging area. Second call, junior showmanship. Second call, junior showmanship. Our junior, or our intermediate showmanship, our intermediate showmanship buckle this year is donated by Jeff and Kim Dodd. Big thanks to Jeff and Kim for donating that intermediate showmanship buckle.
Great group of intermediate showmen out here, and I think that they've all done just an outstanding job. I think it comes down there. There's really three young ladies out here that I think really set themselves apart and have done so all day. And I think that has a lot to do with showmanship as well, as not only how they perform within a showmanship class, but you watch them throughout the day and take mental notes, and you see those kids that just consistently come in the ring and just flat out get the job done. And I think that's a big part of showmanship. I think that there's one young lady out here that has just done a phenomenal job, not only within this particular class, but throughout the entire day. And I'll go out and select that individual. But congratulations to all of you, and good luck down the road.
Our intermediate showman for 2021 is Miss Morgan Hernandez. Congratulations, Morgan. Once again, that intermediate showmanship buckle was donated by Jeff and Kim Dodd. Next up will be junior showmanship. Junior showman should be at the gate. Cloverleaf exhibitors, please be getting ready.
I think this junior showmanship gets extremely, extremely tough, and all 7 of these kids that are out here have done an outstanding job throughout the day. For me, I guess it probably comes down to 2 showmen, and it's the 2 young ladies that are out here in the front. I think that they both do a lot of things right. I think that they're the 2 that are the most accurate in terms of their body position and how they get around front and really can mash and get a lot out of these 2. I guess for me, there's probably one of them that probably just shows a little more of my speed, just keeps that thing a little more balanced in terms of when they drive. I'm going to go out here and look one more time, then I'll gather you a champion junior showman. But congratulations to all of you.
Our junior show person for 2021 is Miss Stormy Cunningham. Once again, our junior showmanship buckle is donated by Backyard Cowboys Buyers Group. Thank you to them for donating this junior showmanship buckle. Now we will move into our Cloverleaf or Clover Kids showmanship division. The buckle for this division is also donated by the Backyard Cowboys Buyers Group.
These Clover showmen out here, they both do just a really outstanding job. And as a parent now, I commend you guys for getting your kids out here and getting them started early. I've got a little girl that's about the same age as these 2 young men right here. And it's tough as a parent to get them out here. It is. It's hard. It's frustrating. But you've done good with these 2 because they both do an outstanding job. I think there's one of them that I think has just kind of gone above and beyond today and done a really good job of getting one stuck. And he can make like the most realistic goat sound in the world because he told me he could earlier. The young man in your pink shirt will be your champion in Clover showmanship. Congratulations.
Your Clover Kid, Cloverleaf champion showman belongs to J.W. Hernandez. J.W. Hernandez. Once again, that belt buckle was sponsored by the Backyard Cowboys Buyers Group. Once again, let's give Mr. Hoffman a big appreciation show for him doing this goat show for us today. We appreciate him driving in to get it done. Did a great job. Thank you, sir. So that concludes our 2021 Hays County Goat Show for this year. The Lamb Show will be beginning at 4 p.m. with the breeding sheep show. Okay, check-in on the lambs is from 12 till 3, so you've got till 3 o'clock to get your lambs checked in. Breeding sheep show will start at 4 p.m. Thank you very much and have a great day.